Hey, good afternoon. All right, well, I've been working in the backfield. We got 2 beehives up and I need to paint 3 more here. So just real simple how to paint a beehive. And I'll show you some footage of the bees when we were looking today. I have a mentor who's helping me that knows way more. So it's actually his hives he's keeping out here so I can practice first. These 3 I'm painting right now are mine. I'm going to be putting in the back there.
And then she'll go out. It's easier here to see the ages. See how it's capped? That's the older ones, and then as you work out, they get smaller and smaller larvae.
Way down deep into the inner side there.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you can see the translucence in that. Investors could see some of the strongest price action in gold this year, according to Wells Fargo, which sees signs of a developing rally. The driver behind this new spark in prices is diminishing supply growth, and it could take gold to $2,200 an ounce. Gold supplies have flipped from excessive to deficient, and such times in the past have sparked some of gold's strongest price rallies. And many believe we're on the eve of a new commodity bull supercycle, which would only be the 7th since the year 1800. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no fee for life IRA. So go ahead and give the folks at Patriot Gold Group a call to discuss physical gold and silver, and the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 5 years in a row from 2016 until present. Click the link in the description box below for more information. And now on with the video. And thanks for joining me while we take a look in the hives. This video is someone like myself who's just getting into beekeeping. So this was my first look into the hive after they were moved to the property. This colony was split from another. It had been a good 2 weeks since they had a chance to adjust to the new surroundings. It's time to take off the cover. You know, it's one thing to read about it in a book, watch the videos, but it's quite something else when everything's live. This is one of the best beekeepers in the county, hands down. So I really hope you can take something usable away from the next 15 minutes. Beehives in East Tennessee. How's your grand solar minimum preparedness coming along?
You always move the outside that way, out. You always go to the second one, even though I see they haven't worked on them yet.
There's a little bit of propolis on there, but not much.
So
okay, there you go.
So
starting to, yeah, that's
deeper. See how nice that looks? That's what they're starting, but they haven't started over here yet. So how I do it, and I advise getting into your own way. And like I said, I usually have a little more room.
You just leave them there?
I take the second one and I move it over to the one next to it. Because
I gotcha.
This one is going to stay out.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't done anything here. So
No.
This one I lean against the hive. And if I do this all the time, I know that's my outside one.
Okay. Now, there's really nothing in here yet. Well, they put some wax in there, but no honey, nothing like that.
That already had wax on it when I put it in.
Oh, did you? Okay, so that side's blank still. They didn't do anything. And these are plastic inserts in there.
So just move it over a little bit.
Okay.
See that big guy right there?
Yeah.
That's a drone. Big body, big head. That's a drone right there.
Get them out of the way.
Yep, got to pry it out a little bit.
All right, there you go.
So you can see here, you can see that's capped.
Oh, it is capped.
That's drone brood there, and then you see the littler ones right here.
Uh-huh.
So it's the younger larva. And if you follow it out.
And these are the actual brood they're going to come out as.
Yeah, they're all brood. And then, like I said, this is larva, and if you look in there, you can see even a smaller one.
Okay.
Because what she'll do is she'll build and then she'll go out. It's easier here to see the ages. See how it's capped? That's the older ones, and then as you work out, they get smaller and smaller larvae.
Way down deep into the inner side there.
Yep. Yep, and you see a really small one there, and see a little white speck. That's an egg.
That's like just beginning. Yeah, because you can kind of see the translucence through the...
Yep.
Yeah, let me see if I can pick that up on the camera. There. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you can see the translucence in that. Wow, you can feel the energy just like zzz. I feel that energy, get that vibration wave coming out to about here.
So I already know one of those boxes at least is going to go on here. That one doesn't need one. That one's got more than enough right now.
Okay.
Because that's not a strong hive. It's not a weak one, but it's weak to moderate. Okay, so this one's full of brood. Got some young ones, but this is full of cat brood. And you see I'm doing this over the box. I don't walk away. Reason being, the queen's on there.
And how do you know that? Because
if the queen is on there, and if she happens to fall, which chances are she's not going to, she'll fall in there.
belly
And
on
if you
it.
look there, that is a queen cell. The way it sticks off, and it's got a hole under there. But there's nothing in it, so they're not looking to swarm, which is always good. They're being pretty calm.
They're in a magic place where there's no bother out here, really.
Well, this genetics, I've had this genetics. It was one of 3 hive. Well, no, it was the first hive I bought. So you see here where it's got cat brood and they're putting honey in the middle. What happens is she started laying here, and then as they cap the brood as they get older and the brood gets capped. Once they're born, they're backfilling with honey. So that's what that is. And that's pollen in there. They haven't finished. You don't see it all the way out. It's only part way because they're packing it. Oh. So she won't be in here. She could have been on one of those. But yeah, see how they're backfilling it with honey? So
After they're hatched out, though, and then they leave, and then the cell's empty, and then they'll come back and
sometimes
say, we've already done the work to build it up. Might as well fill it with something.
it depends on whether the queen gets there and relays in there, or they just backfill it with honey. Like this is a pretty new one. Yeah, you can see really good there. You see how, I'm gonna set it down, but you see how you got the cat brood, and as you go out, you can really see the larva in there. You just keep going out, and you can see the different ages of larva.
From the center, yeah, the white dots are in there. It's clearly visible even on my camera.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can see how really small they are. That's what they are. She starts laying and she'll work out. Concentric circles, working out. So she could be on here. I didn't look before we start screwing around. And this is all pollen over here. That's what that dark colors. It's all pollen. And as you watch them come in, you can see them come in with pollen. This was one that actually had fallen and gotten holes in it, but you see how they're starting to build out. That's new. This is old stuff, but this is new where they're starting to build out from this because it had fallen and actually in the winter and it had cracked.
So you think they'll be able to refill that completely into a solid sheet again?
Exactly. That's why I put it in here. Yep. And then this one actually may or may not work very well, but this one is plastic.
Okay, now why is their wax so dark that they're putting in there compared to the others?
It's not. That was already there, and I took part of it out because this one came from a different hive, obviously, and it was from a hive I bought, and they had wax balls. So I took all of that out, and now the girls have to rebuild it. They are starting. So I will need a medium.
You need a medium? Okay.
So we're going to shake it up on them a little bit here and do this. Because we're not building anything in there yet. So we're just going to mix it up.
So just rearranging the way the frames are sitting in there will help them start the build out process or make them move to another frame to build out faster first.
It'll just make them do it. Yeah. It'll just make them do it is all.
Is that first frame switch?
Yeah, I didn't switch them. I just put it back. And depends on who you talk to. You know, a lot of times when I first learned, that's what I was told is you take the first frame if they're not building it and you move it inside and move this one out. I didn't. I usually keep it right where it is, but I got to replace that, so we might as well shift this a little bit. I'm going to leave a hole there because that's where it's going to go. And then they're just going to have to do it. So, like it or not. So here, it looks pretty good. They got about, what, 3-4 frames with brood and everything on it, and that's the ones they're covering. And they're working on these other ones, though they're not done. But they do have enough to play.
Okay.
All right, let's see what we got here. So, you see this? And it lines up with that, right? Yeah, and that's something they might do called stovepiping, is where they will go one right on top, go straight up rather than out.
No way to really stop that.
Yeah, that's when you might have to move stuff around.
Okay, not much on that one. That first frame, second frame, they don't seem to do much in there, do they, in the beginning?
No, not necessarily. Doesn't matter, they're both the same and that works. So when you're doing this, you don't want to move quickly, not really in a herky-jerky manner. This is where slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right there. You see that one?
Mm-hmm.
These are all pollen. That's what it is. That's going to have brood on it.
Okay.
So this one's empty. Yep. And you can see all the pollen in there, and nectar. That's what the liquid is. And then all the pollen. So, with that, and some will go in here and mix match and put these empty ones in there so they build it. Well, then you're getting in the middle of the brood nest. Even though there's no brood on that, the pollen's there for the brood. I don't do it. That's one of those things, again, I was taught at the beginning, but I don't do it anymore. And actually the one that showed me don't do it anymore.
Oh, yeah, look at it. Yeah.
And see, lo and behold, full of brood.
Which will be full of honey eventually.
She may stay down here and just keep laying.
Okay.
They don't always backfill with honey. They will backfill with honey when they need room. That's what you got to watch, is it doesn't get full of honey and she has no place to lay, or vice versa, because they're going to swarm. All right, I don't see her down here, even though, yeah, this is pretty full actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see, nice full deep. So see, they have moved down here on their own. They push the queen down here to lay. If I remember right, because the top one, the medium there, did have some in it already. So, now while I'm looking in there, I'm also looking at the bees, making sure I don't see any issues like wings, deformed wings, or any of that, because that'll show probably how black that one is. See that one? How black that one is.
Yeah, I've seen another pure black on the back there, so those are the...
Those are Apis mellifera mellifera, basically. But what it is it's a German bee. It's a species. It's German bee. So they're all Apis mellifera. But Apis mellifera mellifera is European dark bee. And so it's black like that. Where these other ones, the light ones, you see they'll be mixed in. Because really the bees I got, they're not any of that. They're just much. Like the lighter one could be like an Italian genetics. Where if you get a really light one, and I have hives that have some really light ones, could be carniolan. But really, what I got is much. See, here's another one that's pretty full. Yeah, it's better to turn this way, sorry, but because you look in the sun and you can see it. Yeah, and she goes all the way down through here, and they've started putting honey down here, but she goes all the way down through there. So there's another one that's getting full. And here's another, this side too. So right there's 2 full deeps, and then what I've got in the mediums. So this is a pretty prolific queen. We haven't seen her yet. I haven't been super looking for her, taking my time to look for her. She's doing really well, and that's all I got to see is young brood, and see how well she's doing. Is she doing well? And it's not spotty. It's all nice and smooth and an arc and all of that. That's what you want your brood patterns to look like. They got some here and there and all over, unless it's like that one where they're backfilling with honey, then your queen is old and having a problem. But this one is not. So here, again, is pollen and nectar. I almost said honey, but it's not honey until it's capped, so that liquid is nectar. So, and then you see how I'm turning them? Because they don't have wires, necessarily wires in them. These don't, this one doesn't. Some of them do and some of them don't. But, so you want to turn them like that, and I just flip them up and down. So, something you got to get used to.
So the wax doesn't rip off from the frame?
It'll just, the comb will just fall right out, especially when it gets warm. So there's another one that they got to clean up and they'll get to it. But see, they've got work to do down here too. So what we're going to do, let's throw them a little bit of a curveball. So what I could do is just move that over here and call it a day, but that would shift their brood, and I really don't want to do that. I can, it's not the end of the world, because, yeah, that doesn't have anything on it. It's not cold. The big thing is when it's still cold, they got to keep it warm. If they don't keep it, 95 degrees, the brood will die. But would you mind grabbing me one medium frame